invisible. You see, no one really gets this. I hear the of course I do's on a near hourly basis, but you don't know. You see, there is a big gap between what you've been through and what I've seen, and trust me, there's differences, and monumental. Now that isn't to say that fear just comes in one way, but there's versions. Unless you wake in a pool with unnecessarily cruel outcomes and options you don't see, then you couldn't. Now everyone worries. But these aren't just flurries that will go soon, they're permanent. It's like the feeling of drowning, mixed with your most feared surrounding. It's brutal. My head will explode, but there's an unspoken code of rules that I can't talk about. You see, the worry doesn't matter. Explaining this mess to a person is just blabber, it's impossible. You try and explain to someone who's saying that your brain is vibrating. No, really. The only option is swallow. Man up and don't wallow, move on with your life. But let me ask you a favour. The next time you see someone stresses, be aware of the dresses and forms it can take on, because I speak for the masses when I say this isn't for attention. If I was in a wheelchair, it wouldn't matter how I got there, you'd understand it. Would you say get up and walk? If my arms were missing, you'd try harder to listen and understand how hard my life can be. Or would you say just get on with it? But because the problem isn't visible, the expectations are fixable by your suggestions, but it's not that easy. So when you try and assume I can just get on and resume with normality, it's infuriating. There's nothing I would like more to return to this world and restore some rationality, but I don't get to choose that. We don't get to choose that. So in the very same way, you wouldn't have the coldness to say just get on with it to someone with a visible issue. Take a minute to think. Just because of my link not being physical doesn't mean it's not there. It's just easier to ignore when there's no visible flaw to talk about. But the problem's still there. So just be mindful. It's hard enough already.